Hi, my name is Austin Lopez, and I'm the creator of Questicus. You are an adventurer seeking fame and fortune, trying to garner influence across the land. But before this could even begin, you need to know the rules of the game. Let's start off with the setup. Before even beginning any of the steps to follow, organize all the pieces so that you aren't searching in every nook and cranny for that one tile or token. Step 1. Shuffle all the decks. Step 2. Decide how many rounds there will be in a game. In your average 4-player game, it is advised to do around 12 rounds. But for reference, 10 rounds is short, 12 rounds is about average, and 15 is a long game. Step 3. Draw cards from the top of the town event deck based on the number of rounds you chose minus 1. Do not look at these cards. At the bottom of the cards drawn, place the Adventure Complete card. That will be the final round. Step 4. Have each player choose a character. In Questicus, there are over 12 different characters to choose from. Characters are split between good and evil. Each character has unique stats that differ from one another. Some may be stronger, some may be smarter. The choice is yours in Questicus. Step 5. Deal each player one secret. Step 6. Deal each player 2 quests. Step 7. Give each player 50 gold. Step 8. Every player rolls luck. The player with the highest number starts first and goes counterclockwise from that player. Congratulations! If you completed Step 8, you have successfully started your first game of Questicus. The game of petty politics and backstabbery will now commence. Next, let's talk about what each piece in the game is used for. Let's start with the 5 main decks of Questicus. These 5 decks in order are Quests, Utility, Events, Secrets, and Town Events. Quests are contracts that players take on to rack up influence points and receive amazing rewards. Remember though, quests range in difficulty, from easy to challenging. Some may even require you to battle another player. Next up is the Utility deck. This houses items within it that power up your character throughout the game. This deck will give you the advantage in battles amongst players and enemies. The Event deck is used to trigger events throughout the game whenever a player discovers a tile. These events affect the whole board, and they can range from great to horribly debilitating. The Secret deck, as you can guess, holds secrets within it. These can be used like trap cards, used at any time throughout the game, even during other players' turns. Use them to gain the advantage in combat, or use them to get out of tricky situations. The choice is yours. Lastly, we have Town Events. Town Events are used to keep track of the rounds in Questicus. Town Events also change the gameplay of each round, and make it so that no round is ever the same. Next, let's talk about the combat dice in Questicus. These die have 6 unique symbols on each of their faces. The sword symbol. This symbol counts as 1 attack towards your opponent's health. If not blocked, it deals 1 damage to your opponent. The shield symbol. This symbol counts as 1 defense, which is used to protect your health. It blocks 1 attack. The skull symbol. This symbol is counted as a miss, and neither attacks or defends. It counts as nothing. The kaboom symbol. This symbol is a wild card that counts as 1 attack and a reroll. You may reroll it for a chance at more attack or defense. You add in the total result of the first attack it made and any other symbols that were rolled for again. In some cases, you might reroll a kaboom symbol and land on another kaboom symbol. Do not be scared, for this is a good thing. It means that you get to reroll that specific dice again, resulting in 2 attack and possibly another kaboom. The good symbol. The good symbol counts as a single attack as long as the player that rolled it is of the good alignment. If you happen to be evil and roll a good symbol, you count that as a miss instead. The evil symbol works the same as the good symbol, just reverse it depending on your alignment. Next up, let's talk about how characters work in the game. using the example of Lyra the Last Light. Each character has 3 unique stats. From left to right, it is health, power, and smarts. Health dictates how much life they have. If this ever goes to 0, they get knocked out and sent back to town. Power is used to fight other players and monsters. Depending on the number your power is how many dice you'll end up rolling in the combat dice. In this case, Lyra has 6 power, meaning she rolls 6 combat dice. The final number is smarts. This dictates how smart your character is. Smarts is used to break ties in combat and help out in dungeons and events. Each character has a unique ability. This can be seen in Lyra's card as, when Lyra attacks a player, you may have her automatically deal 1 damage to defending player. The final text at the bottom refers to a character's goal. A goal is a special quest unique to that character. Completing it rewards IP at the end of the game. With all that being said about the setup and what the characters and the dice are about, let's move on into the actual rules of the game. During your turn, you have 3 actions to expend. Also known as action points, these are used for 4 main things: movement, discovering new tiles, combat, and dungeons. When a player moves, it requires 1 action point for each tile that player navigates. This normally means a player can move a total of 3 spaces in a single turn. To discover a new tile, a player must expend 1 action point and move their character to an adjacent empty tile on the map. Take the top tile of the tile stack, reveal it, and place it where your character entered. When this happens, reveal the top card of the event deck. Read it out loud, and follow any instructions on the card. Whenever you discover a new tile, you can no longer expend action points for movement. This usually results in your turn being over, but some tiles allow you to interact with them, such as dungeons and special tiles. To attack another player in combat, you must be on the same tile as that player. When combat begins, each player rolls combat dice equal to the amount of power each character has. Each player counts up how much attack and defense they rolled and compares it to the other player's roll. Each player deals 1 damage per attack while negating 1 damage per defense. After fighting, they subtract the amount of damage from the player's health. If a player kills another player, that character dies and gets sent back to town. The surviving player gets 1 IP and 10 gold from the player they defeated. If both players would kill each other, the one with the higher smart survives with 1 HP. If both players have the same smarts, roll the luck dice. The higher roller survives with 1 HP. Sometimes you'll come across a tile that has a special star symbol on it. This means it can be interacted with. Interacting with these tiles never costs any action points. These tiles offer some form of shop that gives bonuses to your character. For instance, the town allows you to buy items, new quests, influence, and secrets. Like special tiles though, dungeon tiles can also be interacted with. This, however, requires 1 action point to enter a dungeon. When you enter a dungeon, please open up the dungeon guidebook and read the narrative story and complete the challenges that they offer. Doing so results in grand rewards for your character, such as items, gold, influence, secrets, and even legendary items. If at any time you fail a dungeon, you can spend any remaining action points to continue. If you don't, or you have no action points left to spend, you get kicked out of the dungeon. Dungeons are late game areas for players to explore and should only be attempted by those who are ready. Doing so unprepared may ultimately waste your time and resources. Lastly, players in Questicus are fighting for influence. Whoever has the most influence at the end wins. Completing quests and dungeons are the best way to receive large chunks of influence. Other ways include combat, duels, secrets, and character goals. Each character has a unique goal. Think of it like a third quest for you to work towards. This will help even the odds at the end of the game. When the last round ends, all players count up their influence points. The one who has the most influence at the end of the game wins. Thank you so much, and enjoy your game of Questicus.